Hey guys, in this video I will be breaking down how fewer better prospects leads to higher profit, why keeping your team small is a real game changer, and the one shift that made everything click for me. Most coaches and entrepreneurs think that to scale you need a big team, complex funnels and a constant grind, and that's exactly how you end up overworked, overstressed and underpaid. And after scaling multiple info products to 6 and even 7 figures with an average of 40k a month and 80.2% profit and a 3-man team, I realized that the traditional path is broken. And just to give you a bit of proof before we move forward, so you actually want to listen to me, I'll just show you some Stripe results. Here you can see I was listening to Alex Morsi and got a few payments in from, I think that's 3 days. Here as well, here, boom. And then you can see as well, we booked in a lot of meetings, 460 meetings in 81 days, 443 meetings in 76 days, 120 meetings in 60 days, and so on and so on. So with that said, let's go forward to my philosophy, which is what this video actually is about. My first principle is flywheel over funnel. My second principle is trust over transactions. My third principle is 80% profit with a 3-man team. And my fourth principle is followers over leads. Now I'll go more in depth of every single principle. It's just to give you an agenda for the video. So let's just jump down. First, the flywheel. 1 follower costs us around $3 and we make $60.57 on average per follower we get. Instead of getting cold VSL leads for $10, $20, we are paying $3 for a follower that comes into our IG ecosystem and actually stays top of mind. So you can see here, this is the ad coming into Instagram. Now they're in our ecosystem where we post daily stories, we post value on Reels, we make nice posts, and we lead people to YouTube or booking in a call in the DMs where our appointment setter comes in. I'll go more in depth about that in a minute as well. But the flywheel is basically between Instagram and YouTube. Instagram is for getting attention, YouTube is for getting trust. People need to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them. And if they don't trust you, they will not buy into you. So that's why we want to have YouTube, because people need to spend time with you before buying, because when people spend time with you, you build trust. And that is basically the one key principle that I think the traditional info product path is missing, because people come into a VSL 20 minutes long and they are forced to book in a meeting or leave, which is stupid in my opinion. So I would much rather have them into my ecosystem on Instagram where I can nurture them dynamically. So if somebody is coming in and they're ready to buy because they just feel like you're a good fit, well, the setter can just book them in. If they need more information, we can send them to a YouTube video that is exactly tailored to their situation. So for example, a fitness coach having a DM with a client who is going to lose weight, well, he can send a case study of another client he helped instead of just sending him to a cold VSL where it has to fit everybody. It's just leveraging Instagram and YouTube and then essentially sending them to Calendly where they will book in a call. And now you may ask why. And this is made up of a statistic from Google. So it's basically people need to spend 7 hours with you on 11 different touch points in 4 different locations before buying into you. And that's why I leverage the flywheel, because in between, as I said here and corrected before, is time. So when people are sent to YouTube, they maybe spend 30 minutes with you, but you are now recommended in their YouTube as well. So when you go back to Instagram and DM with people, you've built more trust. And if they are not ready to book in a call, we can just get them to spend even more time. So I've been on the road myself, and this was when we had a very complex funnel. We were struggling with converting people, booking meetings, and we were only making 10K a month. And we were tweaking every little detail, like the headline, the button color, all that kind of crap. And now we have a simple approach. The only bottleneck we can get is not getting enough followers or not booking enough calls. And both of them are either in the ads or the appointment setting. So it's very easy and simple to see where is the constraint. And that's why we now have a more simple road and we're making 40K a month with this. And I'm quite confident that we'll scale from 40K to 100K within 6 months. So you need to understand that trust is at an all-time low. And people are more skeptical than ever because they see the same offers, the same funnels, and people are overwhelmed with information and they are skeptical because they see the same funnels, the same offers, and they are associating you with bad coaches that have bad guarantees that doesn't hold up. So you need to understand this principle, that people buy coaches, not coaching. And when people buy you as a coach, they buy into you, which means you have no competition. But when they buy into your coaching, they buy into your expertise and they buy into your offer, which means you have a lot of competition because you need to have the best offer and you need to have the best coaching. But if you're just you're already the best because you're the only one. As I said here, when people buy into you, you simply have no competition. And that is where everything starts to click. We just up 2 times. First, we filmed the whole video here and we figured it cut. And then we started again and I forgot to click screen record on my iPad. So I think we left here. How do you get people to buy into you and not your offer? And the first principle here is changing from a static funnel to a dynamic flywheel. And I tried my best here to draw the VSL funnel. So people come in from an ad, they opt in here, they see the VSL, and then they're left with 2 choices here. They either can book a meeting or they can leave. And if they leave, the newsletter will try to convert them into a meeting, which I think is very, cold, and it's not a unique approach because the prospect knows it's just an evergreen funnel. Whereas the dynamic flywheel here, we can adapt to where they are in the customer journey. So they come in from a follower ad and they just click follow. No friction at all. They don't have to opt in or nothing. And during the day, our setter will then reach out and ask, hey, what caught your interest? And then they will find out where are they in the customer journey or in the buying journey. They might need to be sent to YouTube to get more information. They might need to get a lead magnet to get some value, or they might be ready for a meeting. And in this example, you can see that the customer comes in, they might be a bit cold, unaware. Then the setter gets them to YouTube. And the nice thing here is we can do a bit of double nurturing. We can send them to YouTube, but we can also ask what information they need, and we can nurture where they are sent to YouTube. So for example, in a fitness coaching perspective, this customer might need weight loss. Then we can send them a YouTube video with a weight loss case study. So we can nurture even more, which I think is very unique and unseen. And that's why I like the dynamic flywheel a lot. So to sum up the 4 principles, and I did a bit of drawing. So first, it's trust over transactions. You need to understand that we're in a trust recession, that people buy coaches, not coaching, and that the 7-11-4 rule is real. The second principle is followers over leads. In my case, a follower is worth $60 on average, and it's costing only $1 to $3 to acquire. They represent long-term assets rather than one-time conversion opportunities. The third principle is here, the dynamic versus static funnel, which we just covered. But it's basically just that a static funnel treats everyone the same, and the Instagram to YouTube flywheel adapts to each prospect's position in the buying journey, which I can't get my hands on. It's so nice to be able to make a unique approach. And the last one is basically profit over revenue. I'd rather have a 40K a month business with 80% profit rather than 100K with 30% profit. Keeping teams small and systems simple maximizes what you actually keep. And you would be shocked if you knew how many people are doing 100K with 20-30% profit margins. And they're flexing like they're crazy, like they're the best. And of course they're making a lot of revenue. But in my opinion, it doesn't really matter if you have nothing to keep for yourself. So yeah, that was basically the 4 principles that I operate with. And if you enjoyed this video, I've linked my Instagram below where you can hop in and give me a follow. As you can see, I don't have a lot of followers and I'm not intending to get a lot of followers. So I treat everyone unique and you'll be treated uniquely as well. So if you enjoyed this video and think my principles are worth following, I would suggest hopping into Instagram and yeah, we can have a conversation from there. I appreciated you watching along. That makes me very happy. So thank you again, and I'll see you.